Hello, welcome to tonight's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast. As always, I'm Paul.
I'm Brandon. Well, not me, as always. Sometimes I'm not here.
I'm always here because it's my show. I can do what I damn well please. So,
Unless you retire, and then you give it to Trevor Noah, and then Trevor Noah makes it suck.
I give it to Trevor. I give it to TJ.
You can give it to a Trevor.
I can give it to a Trevor. I can give it to the other Trevor. The son. My oldest.
All right. I'm the oldest, and he's also the oldest.
Yeah. Brandon's my oldest biological son. TJ was adopted. Don't tell him that. He came to live with us when he was 14, but don't tell him he was adopted. No. All right. Now, I love my kids. All of them. All four of them. Even the ones, my illegitimate ones. Like Tyler and shout out to Tyler.
Living in where we used to live.
Yes. So, all right.
Yeah, that was a complete accident. We used to live over on a place in Piqua. Then we moved back to Piqua. But when we moved out of that place in Piqua, he immediately moved in, not realizing that's where we used to live.
No. I got him the apartment.
Oh, you got him?
I got him the apartment. Yeah.
I didn't know that part of the story.
Yeah, I helped him get to the apartment. Yeah.
Oh, that's how he got it in so quickly.
Yeah, it was basically us moving out and then moving in.
I did not know that.
So, yep, that was the whole thing. As always, though,
hope he's dealing with that shitty wiring that house had.
Yeah, they claim the house is haunted, but that's a story for another episode. Doom, 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 doom. All right,
another episode. There weren't no ghosts there. I lived there for like years upon years. There's nothing.
Your mom says there's ghosts here.
I didn't see nothing. I didn't hear nothing.
Nope. All right. As always, every episode is brought to you by RU Game, the best comic book, video game, magic, movie, toy store, and more in all of Piqua, Ohio. 45356. I always do that. I always forget to give the old address and just give the zip code. At 124 North Sunset Drive, Piqua, Ohio, 45356. You can find us on Facebook. You can email us at rugame2011@gmail.com. And you can email us at grouptherapytv at grouptherapytv1@gmail.com. And remember, we've been picking up. Numbers are getting better. Mm-hmm. So on Podbean, we just hit, we got our 5,000 download badge. Nice. The funny thing about it is, we got our 5,000 download badge. We are closer to 6,000 than we are at 5,000, but we just now got the badge. And YouTube's picking up. And tonight, I'm going to start shooting our other show. I'm going to start shooting Saturday Morning Serials.
All right.
So that one will be, this one will drop hopefully tomorrow and Tuesday. And then I will edit the other one, but I will be on vacation. So I will edit the other one. So I will drop Saturday Morning Serials Saturday morning.
You got to drop it Saturday morning.
Because Saturday Morning Serials is going to be our look at... I'm going to rough it out to maybe close to 2 hours. It's going to be a few episodes of some Saturday morning... I say Saturday morning cartoons.
But just old cartoons.
It's old cartoons from the... anywhere from the 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. We're going to show them.
Recommend us cartoons.
Yeah. We're going to show stuff that you can't really get. You know, stuff that's
long gone.
Never had
a home release.
Yeah. And we'll do it until they tell us no, you can't do it. Or, because there's other people doing it. So, and they're not getting shut down. So I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. And I want people to know some of these cartoons exist. I've talked to people and they're like, what? What's that cartoon? People come to shop because one of the things we do... Oh, by the way, today's episode is, since we did the...
anime shows and anime movies. Now we're doing Western cartoons.
We're going to do our favorite...
We're doing Down Home.
Yeah, we're going to do American cartoons.
Or Canadian, because a lot of them are also...
Canada.
Canada is like a fake country that like some kind of like video, like something like Ace Combat would make up.
I've only been to Canada a handful of times in my life. And you know
I've
what?
never been to Canada.
I loved Canada. Well, see, the thing is, now you have to have a passport. We used to just go across the bridge. Because you'd go up to Detroit and shoot across and go to Windsor.
We had to get passports to, when TJ became a full-fledged member of the Navy. After
We didn't.
Didn't we have to get I remember getting a passport.
You did not get a passport.
I
You did not get a passport when TJ was in the military. We were...
when we went up to Chicago in order to
No.
get clearance to the base.
No.
I
No.
remember having like little
We,
things
no. We got... When TJ got older, we had to get FBI background checks.
Oh, that's my brain's all frazzled.
Yeah, that's a massively different thing. And the worst part about it is, I had just gotten an FBI check. Because I used to do... documents for the government when I used to work at a printing shop.
I was gonna say, did you make bombs or something?
No. I did.
We totally did. Not.
And I will tell you this because I can't say anymore. But I made documents for the government.
That's all you can legally say.
Yeah, I printed. Actually, no, because I never finished filling out the paperwork. So
So you are not under.
no, I'm not under any.
So you can just be like, yeah, I printed paperwork
But
that
no,
said that like.
it's
I don't know, government assassinated Billy Joe Bob in
No.
1883.
It was, but no, I printed stuff for the government. Well, I was I had to have an FBI background check, and it was funny because they knew everything about me. They knew stuff that I didn't know, because they're like, they asked me like questions. They're like, okay, Mark's been my best friend since not my best friend since I was 15, but me and Mark have been we're like brothers now.
Yeah.
But I've known Mark since I was 15. I'm 46, going to be 47. That's 32 years of knowing somebody. And this is only a handful of years back. And they're like, well, what's his address? And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, well, you know his address. I'm like, I can show you his house. I don't know the address.
Like, you know, your brain goes by landmarks.
Yeah.
Your brain goes by, like, that's what his house looks like. That's his house.
Yeah, that's just it. I don't know. I can take you to like like where my friends live and stuff like that. I couldn't tell you their address. I could take you right to Bill's house. I don't know where Bill's address is.
I'm kind of the same way. I go by landmarks. I'm like, all right, that's the house.
What was really funny is that at the time I didn't know, and I technically I still don't know, but your grandpa had been remarried.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put Tanya's name down. And they knew my dad had been remarried. And they're like, well, what's Tanya's last name? I go, I don't know.
I don't know my name.
So I had to go through and I had to call. They knew.
They just wanted to make...
They made sure that I had to be able to get in that, it was complicated. And then what's funny is that when TJ got to keep this story going, the same guy who gave me my FBI interview was the same guy who showed up because he didn't... See, that was the funny part. Because he come in to check on TJ's dad, and he didn't put two and two together until he walked in the room, and he looked at me and goes, he's fine. I already talked to him like a week ago. And I'm like, well, you didn't know that? And he goes, I thought. He goes, it looked familiar. He goes, but, because TJ being an adopted son, he's Trevor Dixon. And, we're Lee's. And they didn't...
It just didn't click
It didn't click to the guy. And then as soon as he walked in, he goes, this guy's fine. I just gave him an interview like a week ago. And it was funny because he came in the shop, the old shop, before we moved to the new new
we had
location.
an FBI dude in there?
And it was funny because people were like, why is the FBI here? What's going on? I don't know what's... They freaked out. Like, I had a couple customers who like... I'm like, it's fine. So
it's just like... Yeah.
But
you gotta, like, either A... You gotta play along and like pretend to be like,
I don't know. Oh, man, I don't know.
or you could be like, just be like totally real cool about it. So people either A, think like, oh man, this guy, you know, oh he got ties. When it's just, you know him in passing.
Yeah, because he'd already given me an FBI check like the week before that. But but no, FBI check is completely different than a passport. Passport is a document. It's like a
little booklet.
It's a driver. It's like a identification. Yeah. But now you have to have that to go. Now you have to have that, or you have to have a special driver's license to go to Canada or Mexico. And
I need to get a passport.
I don't want to go to. I don't want to go to Mexico anymore. I wanted to go because I wanted to go. I literally wanted to go.
I want to go, but the problem is I don't think I'd be able to get back. I don't think they'd let me back in.
Well, the thing is, though, is it gets kind of scary now down there. And I'm like, part of me wants to go down there again because, you know, I haven't been since I was a kid. But, like, I used to go to Tijuana. I went to Tijuana a couple times when I was a kid. And now Tijuana's, like, drug cartel controlled. And they, like, abduct Americans so that they can ransom them off and all that stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go there. Okay. But I still want to go. I want to go see Mexican wrestling in Mexico.
See real lucha.
I want to see lucha in Mexico, and I also want to go see like the pyramids in
South America,
in Mexico and stuff like that, like the Aztec stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, that's South America. That's not really.
No, the Mayan temples and shit like that. That's in Mexico.
Yeah. I got my stuff mixed up.
Yeah,
my brain.
But no, I'm a yeah. But okay, get away from that now. But we're going to discuss Saturday morning, weekday cartoons, stuff like that.
Okay, we could talk about this stuff because I'm like 1/16 in Native American.
Yeah. See, that's the funny part is I'm like 1/16 Native American, but yet he's 1/16 Native American because both me and his mom are 1/16 Native American. So I don't know if that's how genetics works.
I'm not even sure what the number is. I just know that one of our great grandpas was like Native American.
Well, what's funny is that
on both sides.
I am just enough Native Americans that Native Americans can tell I'm part Native American.
Well, I hear it's the crooked pinky. One of the big things is the crooked pinky.
I don't know. I got crooked. My fingers are all crooked. But that's like...
Well, that's something Adam told me.
It could be.
Yeah, it's
but
like
that looks...
crooked pinky, they say.
Yours looks straight. Mine's crooked.
No, look, it's totally crooked. See?
Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah. See? It's totally crooked.
My favorite one was I got my hand slammed in a car door when I was a kid working at the grocery store. Because this old lady, I went to put her groceries in the cart. And right when I was pulling my hand out, she slammed the car door. And so all it caught was this finger right here, and it cut my knuckle open.
Oh god!
And it was funny because I come in and I'm not gonna lie, my fingers are crooked. So if you can see this, and if you're listening to this podcast, my fingers are crooked. And my boss, I go, oh man, I think I might have broke my finger. And they're like, what? And I look down, they're like, oh look, it's crooked. I'm like, no, it's always been crooked, but I can't bend it, and it's bleeding all over everything.
It's crooked. It's broke. You're not gonna say anything about the blood?
No. What was funny was it didn't start bleeding until we were talking, and then the blood started like pouring out.
That's the thing. Sometimes it's delayed like that.
Yeah, and now I got it. Now I got my knuckle don't quite work right, but that's
probably you getting old and working in factories for decades.
Oh yeah, dude,
factories will fuck you up.
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny because now that finger's got a scar across the knuckle, and it's I also smashed the fingernail, so the fingernail never grows right. So, all right. As we've completely gone off topic of cartoons.
I got a hand smash in a door story I want to tell now. When we lived in Troy, I was working as at work. I worked across the street. Now I work in the home. Yeah. Now I work at home, but not in the way you think. Anyway,
he does in-home healthcare.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm taking out the trash, and McLean's got a heavy ass back door. Like I'm talking like it's big, bulky, like it's heavy. and I swing it close, like kind of like when you pull it close as you're walking in. And the thing is, like, I yelled so loud, Joe could hear me across the street inside his room. I was like,
oh man, I've had people. I've screwed up my hands bad. I've put them through windows. I punched holes in drywall. I'm not. My name's not Kyle either.
well, Paul and Kyle. They sound a little alike.
Shout out to Stearns. we nicknamed Stearns Kyle now. So shout out to Stearns there. So okay. We're gonna get to Saturday Saturday/weekday cartoons.
Just American cartoons. Old, new, whatever. Just Western, made here. Ostensibly made for children.
Yeah. See, I don't care what you say, but the funny part about it, you come to my shop every Saturday. Every Saturday,
you got cartoons running.
I have cartoons running. Usually from open till almost close. Mm-hmm. I usually run them till like if I have like 30 minutes or whatever, and I'll sometimes shut it off and just put music in right at the end of the day because that keeps people from just standing there watching cartoons.
Yeah.
And I watch everything. I like this week we watched. God dang, what did we watch this week? I was watching Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, the Back to the
Future cartoon. Which is funny.
They made cartoons for everything.
Yeah. There was a time where if there was a toy, it had to have a Saturday morning cartoon. Because if it did not have a Saturday morning cartoon,
it wouldn't sell.
It would not sell. One of the coolest toys, I think, was Power Lords. Never had a Saturday morning cartoon. It had a comic book, a video game, toys. It had everything else.
Didn't have a cartoon.
No cartoon.
So it didn't sell.
Sectors. Sectors only had a 5-episode miniseries. Mm-hmm. That was it. Didn't sell. Mm-hmm. So you got that 1 week of cartoons and then never to be seen again. And
they should have just pulled like Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling, where they only made like a handful of episodes, but they just endlessly repeat those same episodes.
Oh yeah. Well, that's like okay.
Kids didn't notice.
I grew up,
and if we did notice, we didn't complain.
And like I said, like we've brought this up before. People remember Chuck Norris and his Karate Commandos.
It only has like
5 episodes. That's it. Yet again, toys didn't really sell well. Mm-hmm. But they sold on the fact that it was Chuck Norris. Everybody knew Chuck Norris was the name. Okay. People remember Chuck Norris and his Karate Commandos. People don't remember Jason the Wheeled Warriors.
Jason the Wheeled Warriors had
60+ episodes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Had a full season on weekly cartoons. Mm-hmm. You had... Well, what's weird is that I didn't realize I love... Some of my favorite cartoons here was... I love Dungeons & Dragons cartoon, and I love Thundarr the Barbarian. Mm-hmm. Both of them only had 20-some episodes. Mm-hmm. But it felt like there was so many more episodes. They only lasted 2 seasons.
It's because they would just rerun them.
Yeah, because
kids didn't notice. Kids didn't care.
Saturday morning cartoons usually only got a 13-episode run. Mm-hmm. Because that's 13 weeks of cartoons. So you get 13 weeks, and then you boom again, another 13 weeks, 26 weeks, boom again, you have, 38 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then you have, then you'd have other cartoons come in and fill in the spots and stuff like that. But, I was, and it's funny because I'm going through and I'm reading these books and
detailing the history of
I am massively fascinated by
because they were made on no budget oftentimes.
Yeah. I got the rise and the fall of the 80s toon empires.
They would executives would just be like, make a cartoon, throw $4 in some
this one
pocket lint.
Yeah, this one doesn't just look at Saturday mornings. This looks at everything. And it's funny because I was reading this, and one of the interesting things is like the first, because there was a big thing that I want to say it was the Hot Wheels cartoon that came out in the 70s. Was they made it because it was a commercial. It was a commercial. They wanted to sell Hot Wheels, but parents groups goes, well, kids can't differentiate between the commercial and the cartoon. And so they banned them. So cartoons couldn't have toys. Or if they did, they couldn't have like a toy line. Like, okay, we had Bugs Bunny and we had Heckle and Jekyll and we had Bullwinkle and so like, yeah, you had a few toys, but you didn't have a whole lot.
You weren't making a cartoon to sell toys.
Yeah. And then the one that broke the mold was Strawberry Shortcake. Of all things, Strawberry Shortcake was the one.
Was the one that like undid that?
Yeah, that undid it. And it was the 80s, of course. It was the era of Reaganomics and whatnot.
Reaganomics.
And it brought about the fact that we were allowed to do licensed cartoons, toys. And yes, they did turn it. I don't care what they are. I still love cartoons to this day.
Even though they were made to be, they were made to sell things, there was, like, people still worked hard on them.
Oh, yeah.
Still, like...
here's the other book, The Saturday Morning Fever, Growing Up with Cartoon Culture.
It's like, these guys, like I said, they were, like, executives, like, threw $4 and some pocket lint at them.
Oh, yeah. They made some cartoons on some super low budgets back in the day. And that's why we got a lot of the stuff, like, from Japan, like we've talked before.
Yeah, where they would just where they would just yoink.
Yeah, they would just yoink it, read that. That's literally why, if you go back and watch old episodes of dubbed Speed Racer, that's why they got like, we must go fight. We must fight them, and that's what we must do. Because they had to try to sync the voice.
They didn't even have a translated script.
No.
They would, like, the guys would just kind of watch the episode in Japanese, be like, all right, I think this is what's happening, and then they would tell the actors to do that.
Yeah. And then here's the other one.
He's going over that cliff. Ah!
It's Saturday Morning, Creating the Golden Age of Cartoons, which is funny because most of this book does not look at actual Saturday morning cartoons. Because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on here, He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, a lot of stuff is not...
a lot of what is considered Saturday morning cartoons didn't actually run on Saturday mornings.
Well,
that's the thing.
What's sad is how many Saturday morning cartoons are lost nowadays.
It's because no one bothered to
we touched on this on our Lost Media episode. If anybody's gone back that far, because it's goddamn.
That was at the old house.
You realize the Lost Media episodes is probably closing in on a year old.
Whew.
We've been doing this because we started doing it right. We did sporadic episodes of the podcast going into the before the pandemic, and then once the pandemic hit, we got kind of really bored.
So we just started doing this.
We started doing it every week. We missed a couple weeks because of technical issues, or I was literally gone, and something happened or whatever. But we've pretty much done an episode a week for almost a year now. We're closing in on a year.
Sometimes I don't show up.
Yeah, sometimes he doesn't show up. The only reoccurring character is me. We need to do like the old soap operas. The part of Brandon is played by Trevor this week. So
just say the part of Trevor is being played by Brandon this week, and they just act like TJ the whole time. Just like,
but
you're like, yep, yeah, I'm totally cool. Got this really big ass beard that I very clearly spent a long time grooming. This beard is my only personality. I'm sorry, TJ.
I love my son. He loves his brother.
Yeah.
But no, Saturday morning weekday cartoons have this weird, because people think they were on, a lot of the cartoons were on a lot longer than they actually were. That's like, I went a while back and I was a big fan of the Super Friends. Then I remember towards the end when they did Super Friends, the Superpowers team, when they introduced Firestorm. I was a big fan of Firestorm, so I was like, sweet, Firestorm's on this. And I thought, I remember seeing a lot of episodes. And then I got the box set. And there's like, okay, there's there's not that many episodes. Then I was like, okay, well, it's because I'm mixing it up with Galactic Guardians, which was the following season, which actually makes the characters look more like their comic book versions and not the Super Friends versions. So, and it's funny because that's where we got the origin of Batman. The first time we've ever seen the origin of Batman in a cartoon was in the episode of that. But then you go through and you watching this, and it's like,
this is also really short. What
it
the
is
fuck?
I think it's like 8 episodes, and you're like, I remember Cyborg, but mind you, I think there's a total of like 12 episodes, because 2 of them are 2-part episodes, or 2 episodes in one. So you're getting 2 15-minute episodes instead of 1 30-minute episode. And I'm like, oh, well, is that why? But no, I get the fact that I was a kid.
You watched a lot of reruns.
Yeah, I watched a lot of reruns.
And it kind of blends together, so, like...
Yeah, I mean, that's like, okay, I don't even remember that one.
Wow, one you don't know?
Yeah, The Mysterious Cities of Gold.
Lone Ranger.
Well, that's like, okay. We go to the lost episode stuff. There's
There.
Yeah, Jason Will Warriors.
There's your jam.
Yeah. The ones I think's weird that no one remembers, that I remember fondly, and I've only been able to find a handful of episodes of Turbo Teen. I've been able to find a couple episodes of Meatballs and Spaghetti, and I've been able to find a handful of episodes of Pandemonium. And the worst part about it is, these 3 shows, I think, came out at around the exact same time. They might have been on NBC.
A lot of them, the reason why they're so hard to find, no one bothered to keep track of the old masters, probably.
Yeah.
No, like, they're probably long gone.
Oh, okay.
And another thing, I think executives think there's no money to be made in it, in a re-release or anything like that. Even just like a real dirt cheap, like, DVD, like, collection. Like, suits ruin everything.
Well,
Executives ruin everything.
well,
You know, executives killed Young Justice. Originally.
See, that's another thing, is that when you got older, the stuff that didn't sell cartoon, like, I'm a big fan of Jason Wheeled Warriors. Jason Wheeled Warriors was getting great numbers. But the thing is, the toys didn't sell because by the time we got the cartoon, the toys we got came with little men that looked nothing like the characters that we got on the show.
And so the kids were like, what the fuck?
So it didn't come out till later that we got the
actual accurate to the show stuff.
But by that time, it had ended.
And
we never got Wave 2. And so the cartoon was like, all right, nope, ending it. I was a big fan of Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future. Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future, it was a live action show. I remember watching it on Saturdays. Some people got it on Sundays. It depends on where you watch it syndicated. It did so well that in some markets, it was beating Star Trek The Next Generation. Captain Power was beating Star Trek.
That's insane to think about.
But the toys weren't selling.
So the executives were like, kill it.
Yep. So they killed it.
Pop it in the back of the head.
Nope. Pandemonium was an American animated television series that aired on CBS. And then Meatballs and Spaghetti was on CBS too. And so I think, Turbo Teen might have been NBC because I think Turbo Teen was trying to cash in on Knight Rider.
What about Thing Ring Do Your Thing?
Oh yeah, that has nothing to do with the Thing. Benji Grimm, and he's like push the things in.
We gotta market this weird character to kids. And just make a Fantastic Four cartoon.
Which they did, and then they got rid of Human Torch because
parents groups are Puritan asshole. Like conservative parents groups are the bane. They continue to this day to be the bane of good of just things.
There
is no SJW boogeyman. The only people out to censor you are the conservative parents groups and the conservative religious groups. They've been fighting against video games, cartoons, comic books.
Man, I remember watching D&D and being told I was a devil worshiper. I was like,
it's the conservative parents groups and religious groups.
Really? So, but
I'm turning into crazy conspiracy
conspiracy guy. All right.
You see?
All right. We're going to take a break, and I'm going to add some we'll do take a break, and then when we back,
we'll actually talk about our list.
We're going to talk about the list of cartoons. All right, so we'll be right back after these messages.
I want to get out with the sunshine, 'cause it's the perfect time to play now. Just my friends, fruit bars and fruit roll-ups. We're having fun on a Saturday. We love our fruit roll-ups, and we're crazy about fruit bars. Real fruit fun, yeah, they're the ones. We love the zany things they do. We love our fruit roll-ups, and our fruit corners, fruit bars. Fruit bars and fruit roll-ups.
Watch out for wild times every weekday. Join up for fun with the Ghostbusters.
Weekdays at 3:30 on TV 33.
Galvatron, our jet's gonna crash into our tank!
No, it's not. They're going to transform into one robot.
Introducing Duocons, Decepticon 2-in-1s. They think they're twice as tough as any Autobot, and maybe they are.
The Transformers.
But they haven't met the Throttlebots yet.
More than meets the eye. The Transformers.
Now collect over 50 Transformers decoys free in specially marked packages.
Listen, guys, the afternoon stretch on 33's Fun Shine Festival is just fantastic. First, do you need any ghosts taken care of? If you do, the Ghostbusters are on the job at 3:30. Then Flash Gordon and buddies are here at 4. They're on guard and defenders of the Earth. With an arsenal to go, these guys are all over the place. At 4:30, go with the Centurions. Come on, the afternoons are a blast on the Fun Shine Festival. And remember, 33 loves kids.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
Back again. Guess who's back? Tell a friend. All right. I've made a list. I have some honorable mention stuff, and mind you, for the most part, this stuff is not in the order.
It's not in any specific order.
Except for number one. Number one is number one, and it will be number one. Like I said,
just good cartoons, right?
Yeah, I am a massive Dungeons and Dragons nerd. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since like
you watched the old cartoon.
I love the cartoon. The cartoon.
It's just so like the cartoon is like it's not trying to be like this.
I don't think
if it were made, if they tried to make a Dungeons and Dragons cartoon today, they would have been like, oh, the main characters are all weird and nerdy and the nerd stereotypes, and then they become cool epic heroes. The D&D cartoon back in the day, it's completely earnest and straightforward. It's like a bunch of kids going, they go on adventures. It's awesome. And they're not trying to be ironic or...
I don't think it really... And it didn't dumb down D&D either.
Yeah. Them kids are in danger.
Yeah, and you have Venger in every episode.
Venger shows up and he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
He's trying to kill them in every episode. He
has a direct hand in their misfortunes.
Yeah, there's an episode that didn't get made. It's actually on the really cool box set you can go through, because I think they have the script where the kids contemplate killing Venger. And that's deep for freaking kid stuff back in the day.
Well, it's like, I bet Dungeon Master would have been like giving them advice and whatnot, but.
And it's funny because it was one of the times where the kids were in peril, and not like some other cartoons where
where it's like some weird fake made up peril where it's like, oh boy, I'm gonna miss the date I'm gonna miss my date with Jenny. But it's like, no, if we fuck up, we're gonna die.
And you had, and it was funny because at the same time the toys came out, but the toys were the Dungeons and Dragons toys based on the game,
but not the kids.
But some of the characters appeared in episodes, but not the thing. what's funny is that they finally they released toys, but not in America. And those toys are stupid expensive. That were based on those, but they're like little standees, and they're not like posable. But no, the cartoon was great. They used actual D&D. You know, it wasn't like they just made up characters for those. You can go to the monster manual, and there it is.
They fought a beholder. You can fight a beholder.
There is a beholder, and I can go look up the stats for Tiamat in my book.
They should have made stats for Avenger, though.
I wish they would have made stats for a few of them, but it's funny because I have a few of the toys up there. But I am a big fan of this cartoon. These are, like I said, these are my honorable mentions. These are some of the ones this could easily be put up into the top 10, easy. I'm a cartoon nerd. I collect cartoons constantly. I buy them whenever I can find them on DVD, and I tend to not even get rid of my extras. So I have like 2 full sets of Teen Titans. I have the box set, the slim set, and then I have the multi-volume,
the big boy set,
stuff like that. I have multiple sets of Thundercats.
I'm all out of green tea.
All right,
sad day when you run out of green tea.
Another honorable mention. Like I said, this is not really. I wouldn't say this. This could be easily in the top 10 too.
Real Ghostbusters.
Holy crap. That's another one I did not realize went as long as it did. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching that because it went from Ghostbusters to Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters. And then it became Ghostbusters Extreme. Mm-hmm. Because everything in the 90s had to be extreme.
Well, it was like 90s, early 2000s. Extreme Ghostbusters. Well, it's Extreme Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Extreme Ghostbusters.
And it was a new cast.
Yeah, it had Egon and the other ones, but they weren't the main characters.
They had a new cast, and it was
this one is not on our list. Mm-hmm. Real Ghostbusters.
I've never watched an episode of Extreme Ghostbusters. I should. I hear
it's literally. I think it's on like Tubi and stuff like that. It's on a lot of. It's on streaming networks. It's free.
I heard it was good.
It's not bad, but it's not Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Real Ghostbusters.
Not to be mistaken for Filmation's Ghostbusters, which I like Filmation's Ghostbusters because it's weird. It's weird for the sake of being weird.
And then we got The Real Ghost. They had to name their show The Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's a whole kettle of chips. You can look that up on the internet. The Real Ghostbusters versus Filmation.
We've actually talked about The Real Ghostbusters before on the show with one of the best episodes, Collect Call of Cthulhu.
Real Ghostbusters is funny. It has some, and it's creepy on some of the episodes.
Like, they legit, it's like a horror movie for kids in the span of 30 minutes.
The ones where they introduce the Boogeyman and the Sandman, the Call of Cthulhu, the Collect Call of Cthulhu. They introduce Cthulhu into Ghostbuster mythos. The episode where they
do this.
The episode where they do the meta episode where they're filming the Ghostbusters movie, and they're like, "Who's Venkman, Ramis, and Aykroyd?" That sounds like a bad bunch of lawyers. Or no, Murray Venkman or Murray, Ramis, and Aykroyd. It sounds like bad lawyers, but it's got one of my favorite quotes from any Ghostbusters episode. He goes, "What do you make of this, Peter?" And he goes, "It's dark, it's deep. I make it a hole." But it's great because they do like the meta episodes, and they have Sam Hain in it, which is Samhain, but they have the spirit of Halloween, and it's some of the character designs are genuinely creepy. Boogeyman with a ginormous head and stuff like that. But I was watching Ghostbusters the other day. I need to get the big bag box set. I've only got a couple of the box sets now.
If you liked the movie, you'll like the show.
Dude, I not gonna lie. As much as I love the Ghostbusters movie, the first one, second one I like. We don't talk about the fan film. I love the cartoon. It is so much fun. It had a great bunch of toys that went with it. It was stupid fun. What's funny is that Lorenzo Music does the voice of Peter Venkman, then later Dave Coulier. But what's funny is that Lorenzo Music did the voice of Peter Venkman in the Ghostbusters cartoon, and Bill Murray did the movie version. But when Garfield came out, Lorenzo Music did the voice of Garfield in the cartoon. Bill Murray did the voice of Garfield in the movie.
Yep.
And you know who was the famous person for doing the voice of Winston Zedmore?
Who?
Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall. What's great is that Ernie Hudson couldn't get the job to voice the voice. That's bad. You can't give the character that you created. But all right, man. I'm Ghostbusters. You can't go wrong.
Up next.
And this is where we're gonna start getting into like our top 10.
We don't really need to call it top 10. Just call it
our
stuff that's good.
Yeah, our picks.
Our
pick.
These are all objectively good, and if you don't agree, you are wrong.
Yes.
Our opinions are the only one that matters.
I'm a huge fan. I love the Mask cartoon. It's dumb because where do those masks come from in the car? Because all of a sudden the masks come down over their head.
Who cares? It looks cool.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Literally, the reason that I own a 1980 red Camaro is because the Thunderhawk from Mask. I have the most 1980s thing ever out my driveway. I own a 1982 Camaro with a tape deck, and in that tape deck is White Snake. White Snake album. But Mask is so much fun, and now
you just need to cut your hair and get a mullet, and then you'll be true 80s.
No, I don't have enough hair to go. I'm fucking bald now. No,
you need to get a wig. When will you wear wigs?
People used to think I had a mullet all the time when I was younger because I wear hats all the time.
So like they would assume
that. And what was funny because back in the time I had a bunch of hair, so I'd pull out my hair and shake my hair out and like, no, I got hair. Now I don't have hair because I'm old. Mask is fun, and what's cool about Mask now is that Hasbro owns the rights to Mask. And now we've pushed Mask into the same universe as G.I. Joe, Transformers, and all that stuff over here.
It's all the same timeline.
Well, what would be cool is that I was hoping that we would get Mask because I thought that what we were going to do is that they were supposed to. The rumor was we were going to get a Mask movie that was going to spin out of the
live action G.I. Joes, or was it going to be?
I know I want to say the live-action Bumblebee movie. But what I was going to do was we were supposed to get the spin-off out of that movie, the Bumblebee movie. We were supposed to get the new timeline for G.I. Joe and introduce Mask. Because what we were going to do is we were going to get the transformable cars to fight the transformable robots that could turn into cars. And that's what we're going to do that. But I don't know what happened to that, but I can always have my fingers crossed because I love Mask. Mask is goofy. It is totally 100. But the shit part about it is, I'm not gonna lie, the Mask box set is stupid expensive now. It just keeps getting more expensive.
It's because the execs want to make buck off.
No, it's because they're not printing. It's out of print. It's out of print. It's OOP.
Then it's the
secondary market's pushing it up.
Then it's slightly lower on my shit list. What is often referred to as scalpers that purposefully lower.
Yeah, but all right,
purposely lower quantity so they can jack up the price of something.
The next one I want to talk about, we have talked about a million times, and I will talk about it a million more times. Robotech. Robotech was so awesome when I was a kid. People died. I mean, I know it's not awesome that people died, but it had a narrative that went through the entire series. And I know that the series that we got in America was vastly different than the series we got in Japan. And they were able to take three completely unconnected series and make one giant series out of it. And the best part about it is
there's
that
no shame in having nostalgia for this thing. Like, if you liked it, and thing is, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really have a whole lot of nostalgia for it because I didn't really grow up watching a lot of Robotech. I did play the shit out of that PS2 game though.
Yeah,
that PS2 game rules.
Yeah, because you played Battle Cry and was it
Invasion?
Invasion
Invasion is the one I prefer. It's a stupid fun game. It's awesome.
I love those games, and the fact is that we got 2.
And I have no problems enjoying it because Harmony Gold's not getting my money anymore out of it.
I don't think Harmony Gold ever got our money because I'm pretty sure we bought those secondhand.
That's true, but Harmony Gold's... I don't want to give Harmony Gold any of my money, so...
But
I know you like Robotech, but
yeah.
You got...
I
do not support Harmony Gold, people. Harmony Gold are screwing a lot of people over.
Well, I don't think they are now. I think they're done. I think they lost the rights recently. I might be I might be mistaken, but I believe
if they lost the rights, good because
I believe that in 2020 was the last year for Harmony Gold. But
you got to look that up.
I gotta look that up. But what's funny is that the Harmony. But
if you liked Robotech growing up, you should definitely check out like the original series that Harmony Gold yoinked to make
Macross.
There's Macross,
Geoclimber, Mostpedia.
Because Macross is the one I know the most. Because that's the one I hear a lot. Because you've misspelled Harmony. It's just O-N-Y. Hold on. That's Harmony. There you go. There's no A. There we go. When does Harmony Gold loses Macross? March 14th, 2021.
So, yeah. And just, okay. As of recording this episode right now, which is in 7 days, Harmony Gold loses
Macross, the Super Dimension Cavalry Southern Cross, and Genesis Climber Mostpedia.
Yep. Okay, wait a minute. No, hold on a second. License has been extended. Maybe this is old. Nope, that's old. That's 2019, so yeah.
In 7 days.
In 7 days, it looks like, yep, will expire March 14th. Yep. That's insane. So in 7 days, Harmony Gold will no longer have Robotech unless they pull a movie out of their ass in 5 days or in 7 days. All right. So Robotech, like I said, for me was one of the ones that when I was a kid,
it kind of introduced you to anime a bit.
It did introduce me to anime, which I'd already been watching some anime. I didn't know it, but this is when it really got me to like, oh, well, it's a whole different thing. But it also introduced me into the fact is that characters die.
Yeah, you can have permanent consequences in a cartoon.
And to be honest, this was the first one I watched that had one giant overlying arc. Each episode led into the next episode, into the next episode, and the next episode, which we didn't have in cartoons before.
Yeah, most of the time, American cartoons were more like condensed. Like there was no giant overarching arc.
Okay. Like the D&D cartoon, yeah, the kids were always trying to get home. Outside of that first episode, you can watch all those other episodes completely out of order, and you would never know the difference.
That's the thing. They were kind of meant to be like that.
Yeah.
They were meant to be. You could just watch them.
Yep.
You didn't have to know anything about the cartoon.
Oh yeah.
That's why That's why the intros would give you a rundown on what the show's about.
Yep. And that's what it was. And this is one that the
Tony's back in time. He's gotta fight dinosaurs.
Okay.
Tony and the dinosaurs.
The next one. I'm gonna put this in one giant
DC cartoons
lump sum. And actually, I'm not even gonna do that yet. I'm gonna do the Justice League or the Super Friends / Justice League. So
the
this
old school one.
No, I'm going to talk about all of them because I cannot separate them because Justice League Unlimited, Justice League, it's Super Friends. I love all of that stuff.
Batman, Superman, Static Shock,
Batman Unlimited, Batman Beyond,
the DCAU, DC Animated Universe.
Not the movie. Yeah, I'm not even counting the movies. I'm talking about the full run of stuff. So I'm even going back to like the Adventures of Batman from Filmation and stuff like that. I don't remember not watching
a DC cartoon.
Because we had I have the Ruby Spears Superman cartoon, which is based on the Superman movies, which is funny because the toys are the show kind of points towards because almost like the Superpowers figures, which they were even on 2 different networks if I remember right. But I have a huge soft spot for the superhero, the Super Friends cartoons and stuff like that. One is any cartoon where one of the main characters is Green Lantern. Duh.
Green Lantern's cool.
Green Lantern is one of my favorite. Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner and Jon Stewart and Guy Gardner.
Especially, I grew up with Jon Stewart because I grew up with the Justice League cartoon.
Yeah. But
I grew up with the Timverse, as they call it.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of, and especially in those later seasons of the original run of Super Friends that introduced the Fourth World stuff. Our main villain was Darkseid.
It was in the 80s, but it was kind of based off of like the older era of superheroes.
Well, yeah, which is funny because that's the way it was up until I want to say because 84 and 85 is when it changed and become like more comic book accurate. But before that, it was the old school style Super Friends. And then
it was made for kids, so it was like something you would read in like a Golden Age comic or a Silver Age comic.
It went to that, and then all of a sudden, man, it had that drastic change in those last 2 seasons, and I love those last 2 seasons because one, it introduces one of my favorite heroes is Firestorm.
Firestorm, cool,
and Cyborg,
Omega,
which we were supposed to get the spin-off, and we were supposed to get the Teen Titans, and that's a bit of lost media because all I guess they have is some of the footage. That's not a full animated episode.
I guess animatics and whatnot.
There's animatics. There's partially animated. There's like fully animated.
Are there any voice clips?
No.
Like any?
No.
Voices were never recorded for it?
No, voices were never recorded for it, as far as I understand. But I love...
If you've got a hold of some of that old Teen Titans stuff, send it to us.
Yeah, send it to us, yeah. I know that there's stuff out there because I've watched some stuff on YouTube and stuff where it showed little bits and clips of the Lost Teen Titans episode. But the DC's animated television series,
this DC animation in general,
and don't get me wrong.
shows
Don't get me wrong. There's a few of them that weren't winners. Like was it the Batman, the one that came out a while back? It's not even that old. Or is like the Monster Wars or something like that.
That does not sound even remotely
legit.
familiar.
I think it was the stuff that was like on Nickelodeon or something.
There was The Batman.
Oh, The Batman's great.
It had Reno Romano as Batman, who played Spider-Man, funny enough. And he was Spider-Man in Spider-Man Unlimited. And he was Spider-Man in the Spider-Man PS1 games.
Yeah.
And he's a good Spider-Man.
Okay.
Reno Romano's a good voice actor.
I don't think I couldn't like separate these out into stuff, and so I just went, okay, boom.
The Batman was really good. It was a cool reimagining.
I love as hokey as it is. I love Batman Brave and the Bold.
Batman Brave and the Bold was a love letter to like old DC. It had the freaking what's his face. He was like a post-apocalyptic future Conan kind of guy.
Kamandi.
Kamandi. They had Kamandi.
Yep. And Kamandi's great.
They have a whole episode where Batman goes to the future.
Yep.
And he fight, and then they had like a little funny like joke thing where they have Joker go to the Kamandi future.
But yeah,
and they had in the final episode was this grand like meta thing, and Because, like, Batman... I shouldn't explain. I should not spoil any of that, because you need to watch the series, and then you need to watch that finale. It is great, and I love it. Batman Brave and the Bold. Oh my god! There's a bit where it has one of the best versions of Aquaman ever. In the form of... He was voiced by John DiMaggio.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where him and his family are going on a road trip, and they pass through, like, the Questions city, and he's like, "Windows up, kids."
There's the one that people don't much care for. Beware the Batman.
Beware the Batman. There we go. Adventures of Batman,
Adventures
68.
Of Batman.
New Adventures of Batman, 77.
Batman animated series. Batman animated series, every show in the DCAU.
The new Batman
The
Adventure.
new Adventure Batman. Yeah, new Batman Adventures.
Batman
Beyond.
The Batman. What you just talking about? Batman Brave and the
Bold.
That's 2008.
Beware the Batman. And this should be the last one. Batman Unlimited. That's the one I didn't much care for.
I heard it. I've seen bits and pieces of Batman Unlimited. It seemed all right.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's weird.
Kind of. I don't know. They kind of look anime-ish.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my.
But we're gonna move on to the next series. What's that next series, Brandon?
Thundercats.
Oh, that is okay. That is both Thundercats and Thundercats the reboot, not that bullshit cartoon Thundercats Roar.
You talking about the old 2013? I think.
What? No, it's
I think it's Thundercats 2013.
You think it is?
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I love both of those series. I do not. I love the fact that the original Lion-O came back to play Lion-O's dad.
And you know who
Claudius
played Lion-O in Thundercats 2013? It goes back to Batman Beyond.
Will Friedle.
Terry McGinnis.
That's right. That's right.
Will Friedle. Terry McGinnis.
Yeah. Yep.
And also on
Boy Meets World.
Yeah. It's all connected back to the 80s.
Back to the Boy Meets World is the 90s.
Back to the 90s.
Yeah, because then he would have been young in he's also the voice of Ron Stoppable in the Kim Possible cartoon. But all right, Thundercats, both the 80s and the 2000s version.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2013. I'm surprised you stopped looking it up.
Yeah, well, I got sidetracked.
There you go. Yeah, put in
Thundercats
2011.
2011. There we go. But yeah, that was the shit. I love that. The fact that we only got yet again, that was a series that was doing great numbers wise.
But it was killed.
But it was killed because the toys weren't selling.
No, it was killed because Lego had Lego Ninjago, which was significantly cheaper to make. And Cartoon Network was like, "Hey, we got these shows that are somewhat similar. Kill one of them. This one's cheaper to make."
People ask, why was Thundercats 2011 canceled?
You can blame
Lego.
Lego.
Their toys was brought down because poor toy sales. That's what it says here.
And also Lego Ninjago.
Yeah. I love that cartoon. I like both of them. What's really great is when you watch the episodes of Thundercats, one of the other characters for that should have been down here under honorable mentions, Silverhawks. If you watch, they're showing a screen with villains from out the universe, and Monstar from Silverhawks is in. Then it shows a scene where the Tiger Sharks characters from the very, very short-lived Tiger Sharks, because Tiger Sharks was part of the comic strip cartoon series, which never... It was supposed to be like, I guess, like a pilot, so you only got like 10-minute... I don't even know if you got 10 minutes. I think you got like 5-minute burst of a cartoon over like 10 episodes. I wish they would have went further with this, because this was going to introduce that whole
It was going to all connect.
It was going to connect everything. So we were going to get Thundercats, Silverhawks, and Tiger Sharks all connected. They were all kind of connected.
Silverhawks.
Oh, I love fucking Silverhawks.
That intro is awesome.
They have
because it was outsourced to an anime story. It
Um,
was outsourced to an anime studio
for
the intro.
Thundercats, the original Thundercats. That animation was killer in that first series. What's really weird is the original Thundercats series had been done. It was done in like '83 and didn't air until '85.
That's actually somewhat common.
Yeah,
where they'll like make something really far in advance.
I have a Thundercats football jersey, and on the back says Thundercats '83 on it.
You got it accurate.
Yeah.
Nice.
But the thing is that it was from when I was a little bit chubby, so now it's like a fucking tent on me.
You know what? That's just to hide your power. You wear it, people think, oh man, then you like throw it off like Yakuza style, and then you're like, you got your steel gut. You built like a tree trunk. You can't hurt.
Oh, but no, Thundercats. Holy shit! And yet again, Thundercats actually kind of had an ongoing narrative because there was
it was sort of like that's when cartoons sort of started leaning into the ongoing narrative thing.
But it wasn't a whole lot, but you did get more of a narrative because you got where they started introducing the other Thundercats that were from, they kind of moved the story forward and stuff happened and whatnot. I am a big Thundercats fan. I watch Thundercats all the time to shop, and I will probably continue to watch them until the day I deceased. All right,
up next,
He-Man.
Also including the later series too.
The 2000 XX series. Why they do that on there?
Well, it's like
one
of my favorite bits in the new series is the fact that the intro starts off exactly the same, where it's like, I'm Prince Adam, and here's my...
And all of a sudden the blasts start happening and stuff.
And then it turns into a completely different intro.
I love the fact that the font for that is the Star Trek The Next Generation font. I'm not gonna lie. I own the original...
Where's the Star Trek cartoon on here?
The Star Trek cartoons would be down there. I'm a big Star Trek cartoon fan, but it's not up here in this stuff. That's something I'll talk about later, like when we're having a Star Trek episode or something. I don't know. He-Man was fun, especially the reboot. Yeah. I have the box set for the original run. I even own the New Adventures of He-Man, which is god awful horrible. He-Man don't look like He-Man. Skeletor don't look like Skeletor. They pretty much wipe out every character, and just basically the only returning characters is He-Man and Skeletor. I want to believe it came out in like '89, so there's literally like a 5-year gap between the last episode of regular He-Man and the New Adventures of He-Man.
There's also the He-Man movie, Masters of the Universe, which everybody gives shit, but that movie is fun and silly, and I love it. It's great.
I watched the Masters of the Universe movie probably at least a couple times a year.
It's great.
I love it.
It had no budget, and they literally ran out of money at the end.
Yeah, they literally had to go film in a garage and film with like a backlight. That's why the end of that just takes this weird tonal change. Yeah. Fall of 1990. He-Man had been over for quite a while before the Filmation rebooted He-Man.
Yeah, there we go. American Canadian.
Yep.
It's all comes back to Canada.
Canada. I don't know. I mean, I look at this, I say it's horrible. But I am looking at this.
There's probably someone out there who loves it.
There's going to be somebody who's like, this is the best He-Man cartoon ever. I'll fight you for it. But you're wrong.
Good luck.
No,
he's old, but he goes to the gym like every day. Probably a little too much, even if his back's hurting and he shouldn't be exercising. He'll probably exercise.
I've had bruised ribs and still been at the gym. I was like, I still get my cardio in.
Oh God, this hurts.
And that's pretty much what I do. Oh, it's on the Peacock network for free. You can watch the New Adventures of He-Man on the Peacock Network for free.
Oh my god! If I were a kid in the '80s, I would have been pissed.
Oh,
that looks nothing like He-Man.
Yo, it's definitely not like He-Man. If I had the box set here, I'd show you, but it's at the shop because Skeletor doesn't look like Skeletor.
Like He-Man looks like he's got jeans.
Yeah, he's literally got like a laser sword. Look at Skeletor.
It's not. Skeletor's like a funny skeleton man. He's just like, nah.
That's gotta be bootleg. Alright. But He-Man, and I'm so pumped, and I know this is bad. I'm so pumped for He-Man and Masters Universe Revelations. Mm-hmm. The one for Netflix that Kevin Smith is producing. Mm-hmm. Mark Hamill is doing it. Tony
can't go wrong with Mark Hamill.
Yeah, Tony Todd is Scareglow. Tony Candyman Todd is Skeletor. And I was like, oh shit, that's got to be
Scareglow. You mean?
Scareglow?
You said Scareglow.
Scareglow.
And then you said Skeletor after that.
Yeah, yeah. I remember being a kid and we got Scareglow.
You're getting all fumbled because you're so excited.
But I am so.
And then you make fun of me for getting fumbled.
Getting fumbled? Yeah, I just do that right there. All right.
Up next.
Transformers.
More than meets the eye.
And don't get me wrong, there's some hits and there's some misses. I am a.
The first Bay movie was all right.
I'm not counting.
And then every other Bay movie sucked.
I'm not counting those. I'm not counting the live action stuff. Literally only the animated stuff, because we all know that the animated Transformer movie is the best Transformers movie. I got to see that.
That was like, we're gonna kill Optimus Prime. We're gonna make kids cry.
I remember sitting in the theater
with
my friend David, and we're sitting there watching it, and we're like, "What? Did they just kill off Optimus Prime? Is he dead?" And we're like,
"He's dead." They kill him off early in the movie too.
Yeah, I mean, it's what is it, like a third of the way through the movie?
There was a comic book line where they did it like a what if. Why are you going to this weird bootleg website, Dad? You're gonna get a virus.
No, I'm not.
Just close it.
But
I don't trust. I do not trust this Blu-ray dog.
Okay,
close it. I do not trust the Blu-ray dog.
Shut up. Okay,
but there's a comic book line where it was like a what if story where like it's Megatron about to take out Optimus Prime, and Megatron fucks up, and so Optimus Prime's like, and just finishes off Megatron. I gotta read that storyline because I saw like a clip from it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is insane. I gotta read this. I gotta find that.
I love Transformers. I'm a big Transformers original guy. I mean, the worst part about it is that I'm not gonna lie, I've sold off 97% of my Transformer collection.
I gotta do what we gotta do.
I own the Dinobots, and I own multiple Optimus Primes. And that's pretty much all I have here. I don't even know if I have any Optimus. I don't even know if I have any Transformers behind me on the shelf.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah, they're in a, I know where they're at. They're in a box over there. I really got into Transformers. Transformers was just,
it's the coolest shit.
It was so
These
cool.
robots can turn into cars, and they work with people, and they fight evil bad guys, and it's awesome.
And to be honest, I mean, don't get me wrong, not every series is great. I now own all of Gen 1 now. So I have the American seasons, and then I have the Japanese seasons. So I have Headmasters, Master Force, and Victory.
And then you even got some of like the other stuff, like Transformers, like God something.
Yeah, that's Master Force. I own I even own like some Armada and stuff like that. I need to get I need to actually get collections of that stuff, but even that stuff's really pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm more of the 80s guy. And the best part about it is
some of the later shows were really cool. I really liked I can't remember what it was called, but it was like one of the mid 2000s series, and it was like super stylized, and RC was like one of the leads. She was like the
Prime? Transformers Prime?
Maybe?
That's the CGI one. But
No, that's not the CGI one. It was 2D animated.
Okay.
Like the Transformers themselves were really stylized. RC was a lead. There you go, series.
All cartoons here. What's great is that
I think that's it right there.
Oh, Transformers the Animated. Yeah. I've even got some of the stuff that we did not get here in America. So I have like Transformers Beast Wars, the Japanese versions, which I'm not going to lie. As much as I liked Beast Wars when we got them here in America, I am more of a fan of the Japanese straight actual animation of Beast Wars.
Rather than the weird like dirt like I got a lot of respect for those guys.
Super God,
Super God, Master Force,
and Victory. Transformers Zone is something different.
Challenge of the GoBots.
Challenge of the GoBots. Transformers Gen 2, the Beast Wars era.
Beast Wars Transformers.
Beast Wars Neo was the one in Japan.
Robots in Disguise.
Robots in Disguise. Car Robots 2000. I had some of that when it was out in Japan, then I got into it.
Prime was really good, though. I remember Prime being good.
The Unicron trilogy, that was good. Armada, Energon, and Cybertron, animated.
Transformers Prime was good.
I like that, the aligned continuity. But no, I'm currently watching the ones on Netflix, which are really fun, except for it's weird watching those without the original voice actors. And see, I think it's what's funny is that a lot of that voice actor stuff made up and made the cool factor, because Peter Cullen
was like perfect casting.
Was Optimus Prime and Frank Welker as Megatron.
Perfect casting.
Oh, man.
Frank Welker, like Starscream, like they're iconic.
Yeah.
And also, if you love Transformers, pick up Devastation. Transformers Devastation.
Oh yeah, that
game is awesome.
And it's in Gen 1 continuity.
It's like it's a love letter to the old 80s cartoons. It's made by It's made by crap. Why can't I remember? Platinum Games, guys who made Bayonetta and Metal Gear Rising. So you know there's some good pedigree there.
All right. Next,
it's a great game. It's fantastic. Yeah. It plays a lot like Metal Gear Rising if you've played that.
Okay. Next series, Spider-Man. The Spider-Man cartoons. For the most part, I have loved every Spider-Man cartoon that has come out.
Even the no-budget 60s Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was watching that the other day. I have the box set, the 67 Spider-Man. And it's funny, because technically, you only had...
They had like 50... They animated like a couple stills of Spider-Man doing shit, and they would just keep reusing those same shots of Spider-Man every episode.
They actually used a whole other cartoon
to make an episode
to make a Spider-Man. And the fact is,
they made a character, Dr. Noah Body, the Invisible Man, just so they wouldn't have to animate another guy.
Well, what's great is that Spider-Man 67, that's only 4 years of Spider-Man. Only 4 years. That is 48 issues of Spider-Man.
They barely used any actual, like...
No, they used Rhino and the Vulture and Green Goblin.
Once they ran out hard.
Yeah. But, and that's one of them ones where I thought there was a lot more episodes than there actually was. All right.
There we go. Now we're getting to the
Spider-Man.
81.
81's The Amazing Spider-Man and
Spider-Man
Spider-Man and His
and
Amazing
Amazing
Friends. Boom! There we go. Spider-Man's... Look at that, on DVD. You know why? You're not going to get this shit. This is an import. Not made in America. That's right. I don't know why. This is not released.
Disney, fuck you. Make this. Release this so
And the
people
worst
can
part about
own it.
And this is funny because this is seasons 2 and 3 of Spider-Man's Amazing Friends. You know how many episodes? 11. 11 episodes. Because this was also at the same time they were doing Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man. So...
Often enough, episodes. I once saw an episode of Amazing Spider-Man that was an episode of Spider-Man The Amazing Friends, just without his amazing friends.
There it is. Both of them came out in 81. What's funny is Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was supposed to be Spider-Man and Iceman and Human Torch.
Supposed to be Human Torch.
And instead,
we got Firestar. They made an original character named Firestar, and then she's cool.
And then she ended up becoming an actual Marvel character.
That's happened surprisingly a lot in just comic books in general.
X-23, Harley Quinn.
All originated in cartoons.
Yep. Well, what's funny is that Firestar started out because you ever notice how much she looks like Mary Jane Watson?
She was originally going to be Mary Jane.
Yeah. Then
the 90s Spider-Man.
Yet again, the 90s Spider-Man. Guess what? Still no league. There's no full box sets of this. You get like the 4 episode story arcs in DVD form. I got that, but the 94 Spider-Man. My buddy Tom, who was a huge Spider-Man fan, pointed it out to me before he passed away that he goes, man, I love the Spider-Man 94 cartoon, but he never punches anything. And then I went back and rewatched. I don't know how many.
I can count on one hand the amount of times he throws punches.
He throws punches, but he kicks or he uses the web. He
webs up or he kicks.
Yeah, which I don't know. Spider-Man Unlimited.
Weird as.
I didn't much care for.
Its problem is that it picked a weird as fuck storyline to be based off of.
Yeah.
It had a cool spider suit. The MTV series.
The MTV series. Yes, that was done with the 3D animation.
It was definitely based off the Raimi movie.
Yes. And the fact that Michael Clark Duncan, who had been was the Kingpin, because he was the Kingpin on Daredevil, was the Kingpin in there. The spectacular Spider-Man. See,
that show fucking rules.
This is great because it's also made by the same people that did Jackie Chan Adventures,
and also the Hellboy animated series.
Yep. And
it's great. It's fantastic. It's one of the best cartoons ever made.
This was so much fun.
It's a great reimagining of Spidey. It does a lot of its own thing, but at the same time, it's its own it's impossible to explain. It's great.
I did not want to love this cartoon, and then I freaking started watching it, and then that was it. It was over.
It kind of reminds me of Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man next. Not Miles Morales Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man 2012.
The cartoon with Drake Bell as Spider-Man.
Oh my god! The fact that he hung out the entire time, and his team was Luke Cage, White Tiger, Iron Fist, and Nova. And we also got the great crossover episodes, so it had Wolverine, and had the New Avengers.
I'm honestly not. I think the Avengers cartoon was better.
Yeah. Then the Marvel Spider-Man 2017. That's a good one.
I have not watched an episode of that.
I've watched a few episodes on. But yeah, that's a good one. Oh, I'm yawning. I'm not even freaking tired. All right, Spider-Man. You can't go wrong with Spider-Man.
We've talked about this. Well, he's talked about this on the show before.
One of the greatest cartoon series of all time. Characters created by Jack the King Kirby. That's right.
Jack Nazi Puncher Kirby.
Thundar the Barbarian. Ah, man.
It's post-apocalyptic.
It's
badass characters. Cool-ass story.
Yeah, and
it ran on... It even runs on Boomerang still occasionally. If you got Boomerang, the channel, you can probably watch an episode of Thundar.
Yeah. It's also on the Warner Brothers on demand publication, so you can order it and they'll print you a copy and send it to you. It's $20.
But you're owning Thundar the Barbarian.
And yet Thunder
you own a copy.
Thundar is literally one of them cartoons that I thought had more episodes, and then
But in
I'm
reality, it was a lot shorter.
It was a lot shorter. I freaking love Thundar the Barbarian. It's fun. I have pieces. I get art done, and literally one of my pieces of art that I've gotten done was Raymond over there. He did a Ookla the Mock for me. Mm-hmm. And that shit is awesome.
I'd find someone who can mimic Kirby's art style and get someone to, like, you know, draw like Thundar in Kirby's art style.
I would love to see them bring Thundar back in like a comic book or a new cartoon or something.
Use those designs that Kirby laid out for you.
Yeah.
The king.
As much as I'm not a fan of his, I think Keith Giffen could do, because he does a pretty good Jack Kirby knockoff. There's a few people that really do it.
I'm just saying it because the cartoon doesn't really use Kirby's art style. It uses a more Saturday morning.
Well, no, the villains tend to be more Kirby-esque.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing I love about Kirby is that his villains are like weird.
The main villain, Gemini,
and
the main villain Gemini is definitely created by Jack Kirby. Boom, right there.
Well, hello, Darkseid.
Yeah, it's pretty much what he's a knockoff of Darkseid.
Yeah, he's definitely
that's a badass figure. I wish that was real. But yeah, look at that. Boom, Thundar the Barbarian. Yeah, but it's Jack Kirby. So, yeah, the Thundar is a weird amalgamation of Kamandi, which was created by Jack Kirby. You know, you're in a post-apocalyptic world. There's a lot of animals who have risen up to become humanistic.
You got a human main character.
Yeah. That'd be kind of awesome. So reboot.
Yeah.
Something like it.
Some kind of fan art.
Yeah. Thundar the Barbarian. Holy shit. I love Thundar. All right.
Up next.
G.I. Joe, a real American hero. G.I. Joe is there. Bah, bah. I flippin' love me some G.I. Joe. I love the Sunbow stuff. Mm-hmm. The Deke stuff, I could do it out. And then when they brought back G.I. Joe Renegades.
When G.I. Joe Renegades is great. I love it.
And G.I. Joe Resolute, the movie that like Warren Ellis wrote. Dude, that's another one of the ones where I'm watching it, and I'm an adult by this time when this comes out. It was on Cartoon Network. I'm like, holy shit, they just killed Major Blood.
You can't do that.
Holy shit, they just killed Bazooka.
Well, quit spoiling the movie.
Yeah,
watch Resolute.
Yeah, dude, it's like over a decade old.
But there are people who haven't watched it.
G.I. Joe is so much fun. You have the PSAs. You have some of the hokiness of every episode.
You got the cool ass toys. You got Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes.
That's all you need. Snake Eyes.
But the thing is, Snake Eyes
coolest.
isn't even embraced in the original cartoon run because he's a
silent ninja.
He's silent ninja. They didn't know how they could write him. Then you know what? Years later, they're like, all right, we got this. G.I. Joe Resolute and G.I. Joe Renegades knocked Snake Eyes' character out of the park. Dumb cat. G.I. Joe is just I know everybody goes, oh, but it's promoting war and the military, and I'm like, I don't care. I love G.I. Joe.
Thing is, the newer shows, and even like looking at the original comic book, like it's.
I'm also a big fan of the comic book too.
It's like there's no specific branch of the military that they bring up.
No, and mind you,
they never. I don't remember.
No, G.I. Joe has Marines. There's Navy. There's.
But I don't. They don't bring up They don't bring them up by name.
No, they they bring it. Leatherneck's a Marine. That's why Leatherneck and Wetsuit have butt heads all the time because one's a Marine, one's a Navy. But the fact is,
Marine is in the Navy.
Huh?
Marine is Navy. Marine.
Yeah, no, but the Marines are in the Navy are two different things. But they never give them because they were in other military and then they join because you also get like Shockwave. A Shockwave was SWAT. You get Chuckles, who was CIA. You get it's other branches of the military and other police and whatnot who come together. And you even get SAS. You get British like Big Ben and stuff like that. They defend the world, and they're all
defending the world against the tyranny of Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Wherever there's trouble, G.I. Joe is there. It's great because look at and the funny part about it is in an era.
The 80s was like Omega patriotic, but like G.I. Joe over the years has become more like weirdly like critical, especially Renegades. Cobra, instead of being a terrorist organization, they're a they're weapons manufacturer. That the government is heavily tied to, and that's why the G.I. Joe are the Renegades because they're framed.
What I also love the last episode of Renegades is where Duke wakes up and it's the original old school 1980s.
He's like, I had this horrible nightmare where we were renegades. Roll credits.
What I think's great is that like with your mom and stuff like that. I grew up and I was a big fan of He-Man and this and that and the other, and you had. He-Man had Teela, one really strong character. You had She-Ra later on. Thundercats, you had Cheetara, and you had later on Pumira.
G.I. Joe had a whole bunch of ladies that you could be like, oh,
you had
my young boy heart.
You had Scarlet, Lady J. You had CoverGirl. You had Jinx. You had the Baroness. You had Zarana. You had the Baroness.
People with taste liked the Baroness.
Yeah. But you had strong female characters, and they weren't, in them that first episode of the first story arc with Scarlet was the damsel in distress, but she ends up saving Duke later on. Cat,
like I said, people with true taste like the Baroness.
Yeah. All right, but G.I. Joe
glasses, evil. You can't go any better than that.
All right. The last one. The
number one.
Number one.
The GOAT. On top. All others bow before him.
And that...
Rail to the green, baby.
Is the Scooby to the Doo.
Scoobert Doobert.
Scooby-Doo is the shit. There's a reason...
Like Hail to the King, baby.
The reason that show came out in 1969, and I don't think Scooby-Doo has ever been off the air. Ever.
I think
there may not have been new episodes,
but they ran reruns.
But since 1969, I don't think Scooby-Doo has ever been off the air.
Look it up.
We've had some shit cartoons in there. Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
Shaggy and Scooby get a clue. Just throw that under the rug.
What's new? Scooby-Doo, Be Cool, Scooby-Doo.
Be Cool, Scooby. There's a reason that got relegated to Boomerang.
Yeah. I am a huge fan of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? The new Scooby-Doo movies. The Scooby-Doo Dynamite Hour.
What's New Scooby-Doo?
What's New Scooby-Doo?
Scooby-Doo Mystery
Incorporated. I like the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
It had freaking Vincent Price.
That's right. But it also had Flim Flam.
I would argue Flim Flam was worse than Scrappy. Because Flim Flam actively got them in more trouble.
Yeah. But that's also arguing what's worse. Getting stabbed with a knife or getting stabbed with a pitchfork. It's both miserable. And
like I said, Flim Flam, Scrappy, he could at least, he's Scooby's nephew. He's young. He's a puppy. He gets into trouble. He's like a little brother.
Yeah. Except
Flim Flam is a con artist asshole.
Mm-hmm. But
who, like I said, actively got them in more trouble. Sure, he would help bail them out, but
it also had that weird design for Daphne. And
I think Daphne was never meant to be Daphne. I think she was going to be a different character and was probably changed at last minute.
Yeah, because it was so weird. The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, because there's no Fred or Velma.
They were gone.
Yeah, they were.
But we had Vincent Price to make up for it.
That's the reason 13 Ghosts.
Vincent Price playing Vincent Van Ghoul. And he's just Vincent. It's him doing the voice and his likeness, and it's Vincent Price, the king of horror himself.
Oh man!
And then when when the character of Vincent Van Ghoul shows up in later Scooby-Doo stuff, you know who voices him? Someone who does a fantastic impression. I don't remember his name, but he's the voice of Kip in Futurama. You'd have to look him up, but he does he does a fantastic impression. It's insane.
Well, what's funny is that I remember you guys becoming Flim Flam, Vincent Price, Vincent Van Ghoul.
There's that weird Daphne design.
Curse of the 13 Ghosts. Yeah, the weird looking Daphne. I don't know that's Daphne.
I think
the fact that we have Flim Flam and
Scrappy
in the same thing, and we have Red Shirt Scooby or Red Shirt.
Well, Red Shirt Shaggy was more powerful because he was fucking pissed. Like there's like a bit in one of the episodes where he just like flips his shit and he's like, "Everybody get out!" He's like everybody get out, man! You nerds get out of here! Well, he snaps and it's hilarious. But Red Shirt Scrappy was in the Red Shirt Shaggy was in some of the really good direct to VHS.
Maurice LaMarche.
Yeah, he does a fantastic.
He was the voice of Egon.
Yeah.
He's the voice in Futurama.
He's the brain?
He's the brain. But, oh my god.
So that means he was in The Critic. He was Orson Welles.
Mm-hmm.
He gave us something peas filled with wholesome goodness and green penis. Oh, this is terrible. I quit.
What's funny is that you guys...
I have that bit just like burned into my brain.
I grew up on Scooby-Doo. You grew up on Scooby-Doo. Vince loves Scooby-Doo.
Joe grew up on Scooby-Doo. I'm pretty sure even TJ would watch Scooby-Doo.
Every one of my kids has grown up on Scooby-Doo. We had an ongoing joke for the longest time.
Hold on. Hey, Abby.
Our dog looks like a Scooby dog.
Hey, Abby, come on.
No, don't pick her up.
Well, you should be able to spot a little bit of her.
Yeah.
She's like brown and
She would have
been named Scooby if Vince hadn't already named her Abby.
Yep. Actually named after another cartoon character because Vince loves Abby Hatcher. Scooby-Doo. The movies are still fun. Vince likes the Scooby-Doo movies, so I jump on them every time I find one. I buy a new one whenever I can.
I think my favorite. Yeah, a lot of the direct-to-DVD ones jump in quality a bit, but they're generally pretty good.
Well,
you know what you're getting into. The WWE crossover ones are funny. Because they're just insane.
Yeah, the WWE ones are... I'm watching them and I'm like, I did not expect them to be that good.
They're like fun, like weirdly meta too, which is funny. Like the writers clearly love wrestling.
The one I thought was hilarious was Scooby-Doo meets Kiss. I did not want to like that one, and I have no idea why the Kirby estate has not sued the shit out of them for that, because the end of that basically turns into a Jack Kirby comic. Mm-hmm. It's got Laverne from Laverne and Shirley, Penny Marshall doing a voice on there. It refers to the Elders, which is an obscure-ass Kiss album. It has both Jay and Silent Bob in it.
Is it... Like, that's a weird one. Of course, when we gotta bring up Scooby-Doo, we gotta bring up the original trilogy of the original direct-to-VHS movies that kicked off Zombie Island, Witch's Ghost, and Cyber Chase.
Yep.
Really good, really strong, hold up to this day. Oh, and also the Alien.
The fourth one. I was gonna say the fourth one, Aliens, is Vince loves that one.
Mark Hamill was in the Alien one.
Yeah, he's one of the bad guys.
Once again, we go to Mark Hamill.
We can never get too far away from Mark Hamill.
King of voice acting.
Oh my god.
He knocks it out of the park in whatever he's in.
Yeah.
That was the era when Casey Kasem was pissed because they had Shaggy show up in a McDonald's commercial during the time when he had Shaggy be vegetarian because he was vegetarian.
What I love,
and like Zoinks, man, I gotta order a Big Mac.
I love the fact in Scooby-Doo, Mr. Ink, we actually get
Casey
Kasem as
it was his last role.
He was Shaggy's dad. He was Norval's dad.
Like Zoinks, don't call me Norval, man. Call me Shaggy.
But all right, well, that is our list. We will add. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's other stuff I would love to put on here.
It's 11:15. We've been going on for a while.
I'm going to go ahead and are you going to bolt?
Yeah.
And I'll do the comic book reviews, and then we'll call it a night. And I might start.
Like I'm gonna bounce, man. like.
Raggy.
Like Hail to the King, baby.
All right.
I'd watch Scooby-Doo meets Evil Dead.
Oh my god. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna read from
before we get too far. That is literally the last episode of Supernatural I've watched. Scooby Natural.
Oh,
the Scooby-Doo Supernatural crossover was great.
That episode, I kind of dropped out of Supernatural because I just kind of stopped liking it. But I still really liked that episode.
Scooby Natural was so much fun. So much fun. And that's a love letter to Scooby-Doo. A total love letter.
There is not an ounce of like weird ironicism.
No. That is total appreciation for the source material.
There is not an ounce of crap. What's the word I'm looking for? Like where it's like snide. Like
there's nothing that.
If you're coming in expecting like a parody of Scooby-Doo, you're not getting that.
The only thing you'd get is the whole entire time Dean is trying to hook up with Daphne. Because he's had a crush on Daphne because, like most teenage boys, that's like a lot of guys' first crush was Daphne. And that's the way it was with him.
I'm a Velma man.
So, all right. Well, we're gonna take a break now, and we'll be back with some comic book reviews.
All right.
Eddie, this is Mrs. Butterworth. Hello, Eddie. I love your syrup. I make 2 syrups, regular and light. Mrs. Butterworth. And they're both delicious
because they're thick and rich and buttery.
She really talks better than you.
Mrs. Butterworth's is twice as thick as maple syrup, so it pours slower. And it's made with grade A butter. Mrs. Butterworth's, regular and light.
Eddie, are you sleeping again?
No. I'm watching Magnum again.
When it comes to action and adventure, come home to Tom Selleck. Come home to Magnum on Channel 12.
We got one pepperoni with anchovies. What are you doing? I'm watching Magnum.
He's smooth. He's sexy. He's hot.
Lady, you ought to watch your machine as soon as I'm done watching Magnum.
Come home to Tom Selleck. Come home to Magnum. Weekdays at 5.
Come home to Channel 12.
Domino's Pizza delivers quality. It takes fresh baked quality to avoid the Noid. We keep the Noid out and all the quality in. So avoid the Noid. Call Domino's Pizza now for hot quality pizza. Domino's Pizza delivers.
Nice going, Mustang. Have one on me.
Roger, Den Mother.
Great. Trouble with your refreshment system?
Negative.
Diet Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
This Diet Pepsi commercial was inspired by the hit movie Top Gun, now available on video cassette.
And I'm back. Brandon's took off. I'm going to do my top picks here for the week. This one, I'm not a big fan of the story, but I'm loving this freaking cover for Avengers. Number... I can't read the freaking number on there. The Jennifer Walters She-Hulk cover. The Women's History issue. That is just phenomenal. Love that cover. All right. Next one is, and this one is a total freaking love the new run on Thunderbolts, the King in Black. This is just, it's great. It's funny. It's parodying a lot of stuff. Hopefully it looks like this is going to lead into more Thunderbolts. Which is, and if they do it the way that I want them to do it, it will be basically Marvel's version of like the Suicide Squad. So, digging that. Noctera. I don't know what to say about this book. It is literally the first issue. They're doing some hurrying up and doing a lot of introducing. It's got me hooked. It's got me wondering. So I'm going to keep on with this one. The artwork's great. It's a little convoluted in the first issue, but it's still like it's got me really wanting to read more to find out what's going on. Then from Keanu Reeves, Berserk. This is a great book. It's super simple. It's not meant to be overly complicated. It's just brutal, over the top fun for, it's great. An immortal warrior who can't die, who, it's fun. It's just brutal as shit, and it's enjoyable. And that is both covers, or two of the covers. There you go. Boom. And it is, like I said, it is Keanu, John Wick, Neo, Theodore Logan Reeves. So, all right. X-Men Demon Days with the Art Germ variant cover, which is awesome. It is played out like a Japanese fairy tale with a very stylized Japanese style art in it. Is a beautiful book to read. It's almost like it feels like a Japanese fairy tale, which is what it's supposed to be. All right, then we get, those are my picks for the week. Here's a advanced look at a couple of the books that drop this upcoming Wednesday. Boom, DC's The Joker. I have the Joker and the Punchline covers. This is the Joker. It's a little weird because I want to say it's more of a Commissioner Gordon book, so we're going to see how this is going to go. It's following up everything that's happened in the Batman books right now, so I'm intrigued by it, and I hope it keeps going where it's going. So we'll see. Next is Green Lantern Season 2, Issue 12, the last issue of that season. This book is so weird. It doesn't feel like a Green Lantern book at all. I love Green Lantern, and I got all these, but I'm not a fan. It just doesn't have a Green Lantern feel to it. All right. Rorschach. I really wish I need to just sit down and read this when the whole storyline's over. It is a slow book. I'm not going to lie to you. And to be honest, Rorschach doesn't even appear in this book. So, I think it has a lot of potential, and I've talked to a lot of people who love it. I'm not in the I love category. I need to wait till it's all done, and then maybe I need to sit down and read it all at once. I was not a fan of Doomsday Clock either, till I sat down when it was all done and over with, and went back and read it, and I was like, oh, okay, this reads better as one big read and not a bunch of little reads. Because when you got to wait a month, a book, if it's slow, feels even slower to me. So, and I read so many books every week that it's really got to stand out to me and really got to have some punch to basically be where I want it. The last book is Batman Urban Legends. It's an anthology book. It's all these different stories of people that exist in the Batman universe, which they've now added Grifter to the Batman universe. And to be honest, I think the best stories in here are the Red Hood and Harley Quinn stories. Both are rather sad, but I think they're really pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's the first issue. It's a little on the pricey side. It is $7.99 cover, but it's fun. I'm hoping that it stays that way. I mean, I think you have 2 great stories, and then you know 3 okay stories. So when it all comes down to it, I think it levels out and it makes it a good read. So those are my DC books. I don't have a whole lot of DC books this week. Since Future State ended, I realized I got way too many Future State books when I bagged and boarded them up the other day, and they filled a short box. So that's a lot. All right. But I want to say this again. We are currently still trying to get our numbers up, and we still got the contest going. So if we get subscribers on YouTube, we are giving away a copy of Batman Medals when we hit 100 subscribers. Podbean, when we hit 100 subscribers, we are giving away a copy of Road to DC's Medals. Both of those are hardbacks. We're giving those away. Those are both brand new. When we hit 500 followers on Twitter, we are going to give away to one lucky subscriber on all these. It's not like we're giving all these away. So we're going to pick out one lucky subscriber and ship this out to them. We're going to give away a copy of Uncanny Avengers Volume 1 hardback trade paper when we hit 500 followers on on Twitter. So I would still like to say, please remember to follow us. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Tumblr, but I don't much care for Tumblr, so we're not really using that much. We are on YouTube, which we drop our weekly video. We have the audio versions on Podbean, TuneIn, Pandora, Spotify, Stitcher. We're on a ton of them. Even the ones that I don't put new episodes up, if you go to them, they'll link you to the full episodes on another site. But that is tonight's episode. And we'd like to thank everybody that's been watching us and loving our show, and we want to keep it that way. Like I said, please like, subscribe, help us out. If you want to, you can donate to our Patreon. Or you can just come in the shop and hand me money so I can buy new product, new stuff for the show. And everything goes to the show. I buy stuff that I can either reference material, stuff to watch, new equipment, whatever, new software. we are going to call it a night. I've been on this thing for a couple hours now, and I want to say goodnight and say, remember, we're not licensed therapists, and we've been Group Therapy TV, and you've been great. Good night.